नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति। ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतङ्गमय। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति। Good evening. Today I am not taking up any quote from the book. I want to say something on agriculture. I know most of you are from agricultural background. Somebody sent me a few days back a WhatsApp message. I asked life, why are you so complex? Life replied, you don't like simple things. అర్థమైందా? జీవితాన్ని నేను అడిగాను, నువ్వు ఎందుకు ఇంత సంక్లిష్టం? జీవితం నాకు బదులు చెప్పింది, నీకు సింపుల్ థింగ్స్ ఇష్టం లేదు కాబట్టి. సో somehow we have made life very complex. No other creature on planet Earth has done it, but we human beings made it life very complex. So life has become very stressful, particularly for people living in urban areas. And life in rural areas is a little less stressful, but they do have their own stress. But comparatively, life in urban spaces is more stressful. Now today, if you just look at the world, in developing countries like India, around I think 55% of the population is living in cities and towns. Around 45% is still in villages in India. If you look at countries like America and European nations, 95 to 96% of the population lives in urban areas. Mahatma Gandhi says, he said one great statement, he made a great statement. He said, one man's food is another man's poison. What he meant by that? He said, don't urbanize and industrialize India in the model of the West. పాశ్చాత్య దేశాల్లాగా ఆ పట్టణీకరణము, ఆ పారిశ్రామికత ఇక్కడికి తీసుకురావద్దు. అదే మోడల్లో We have to adapt it according to our needs and our requirements. India lives in villages. That you should not disturb, he said. Self-sufficient village. He asked the future policy makers to create. Why he did not like the Western model? The Western model will compel and force people to migrate from rural areas to urban spaces. For a country like India, which is actually millions and millions are living in villages, it doesn't really do good. He forewarned, he could foresee the future of the nation. So what he expected is the cities will get congested, the urban infrastructure won't be sufficient to meet the needs of the people. Then there will be slums and squatter settlements. You know, in Hyderabad itself, there are 1400 slums. Every city has. So the people will be living a very miserable life. Whereas when they were in villages, they would live life like kings. Once actually those people who cannot really afford the cost of living in cities, they will be slowly pushed into slums. Slums will grow. And most unhygienic conditions they will have to live. So that's why he said that don't urbanize India, don't industrialize India in the model of the West. But what he wanted, alternate model he suggested, that people will live in villages only. There will be some industrial settlements where mass production of goods will be done. Mahatma Gandhi also was a great economist. But the people who came to power subsequently, they did not like his ideas. They thought actually he was obsolete and anachronistic, those ideas were. In the sense, ఆయన ఒక పాతకాలపు మనిషి అని పాత చింతకాయ పచ్చడి అనుకున్నారు ఆయన. బట్ వేరాజ్ హీ వాజ్ అహెడ్ ఆఫ్ టైమ్స్, కాలానికన్నా ముందున్నాడు ఆయన. ఇదంతా మనం ఏదైతే ఇప్పుడు స్ట్రెస్ఫుల్ లైఫ్ గడుపుతున్నామో, లైఫ్ ఇలా తయారవుతుంది ఆయన ముందే ఊహించాడు. ఊహించి ఈ మోడల్ వద్దన్నాడు, కానీ వాడు అర్థం చేసుకోలేదు. సో why life would become like this? So he could clearly see that urban spaces, now just to see any city in the country, traffic jams, right? City cannot grow further. You cannot expand urban infrastructure further. Urban infrastructure has come under severe strain. Sound pollution, air pollution levels have reached in such an extent that you might have read in newspaper about our national capital Delhi, where they have shut down schools because of pollution. Because of pollution, they have to close down schools. Means what? Every day they say that if you inhale air in our national capital, it's as good as you are smoking 10 cigarettes. గాలి పీలిస్తే రోజు ఆ సిటీలో ఉండి 10 సిగరెట్లు తాగితో సమానం ఉంటుంది. So when you don't have pure air, naturally you will fall sick, because every day you are collecting the dust particles into your lungs. Lung infections will come, lung gets affected, heart gets affected, the quality of life will come down significantly. As life, the first and the fundamental requirement of any life is pure air. If you live in cities, even if you are a millionaire, you don't get pure air. Even if you are a millionaire, you don't get pure air. But somehow, lot of prestige we attach to this urban life. If you are educated people, you should not live in villages. That is the kind of understanding that has set in. It's very unfortunate. We have to breathe fresh life into your villages. That is the solution for all the problems of the nation. Today, agriculture is in a crisis. If you ask me, India has enough doctors, enough engineers, enough chartered accountants, enough of all professionals. Okay, what we need is a progressive farmer. సేంద్రియ వ్యవసాయం చేసేటువంటి వ్యక్తి క్యాటిల్ పెట్టుకొని, ఎందుకంటే సాయిల్ హ్యాస్ డిప్లీటెడ్ సిగ్నిఫికెంట్లీ. The agriculture yields won't be sustainable. Why agriculture has become risky? Why is a low income profession? The reason is capital cost has gone up. Why capital cost has gone up? We have adopted, this Western model where actually agriculture is mostly chemical fertilizer based and chemical pesticide based. That has increased the capital cost, and that's why farmers are not finding it, remunerative. There are many other factors. It's not that simple, I know. But what actually, if you don't produce the next generation of farmers, the food security of the nation will be in jeopardy, in danger. Okay? Government is not noticing it. Now there is a war going on in one part of the world. Because of that, there is some disruption in this supply chain. Ukraine actually is one of the major exporter and producer of wheat, grain. Okay? There has some disruption has already come in. Now other countries stepped in, and temporarily actually it has not affected the whole globe as such. But because of these wars, tomorrow actually famines may come. Because the production in that country will get affected, and also the export will get affected. And just as people get killed in hundreds and thousands in wars, people will get actually killed in thousands and sometimes in lakhs also because of these famines. So food security actually holds the key to the future of this nation. And of course, recently passed our great agriculture scientist, Dr. M.S. Swaminathan, father of green revolution in India, he said that the countries that have grains will rule the world in future, not the countries that have guns. That's what he said. So for that, to have this food security for the nation, some population of young people, at least some percentage, have to go back to the villages and they have to bring life into the villages. Today, Indian villages, there is not much life as it were because young population, they don't live there. What we need is progressive farmers. How we will be able to do that, how we will be able to motivate young people to go back to villages, we'll discuss in our next prayer meeting. Thank you. Have a nice evening.